say soccer.
What's goody footy fans? It's your boy Big John, and this is the inaugural episode of We Say Soccer, an American take on the world's game. Today, August 11th, 2021, we're going to be talking about the whole season coming up in the Premier League, as well as our predictions on awards, the top 7, as well as a preview of this weekend's shows. And don't forget, at the end, we got our best bets of the weekend, so stay tuned if you're trying to win a little bit of money this weekend. But first, let me introduce my co-host. Firstly, we have Jibbs. What's going on, Jibbs?
Hello. I'm Jibbs. Greetings, everyone. Happy to have you join us. This is an exciting venture, brand new for us. Based out of Virginia myself. Big John lives here as well. Jeff sadly left us not too long ago. I'll let him tell that story here in a little bit. Excited to get this rolling. Excited to share our knowledge, our passion for the game of footy. We watch across Europe. We bet on Chinese Super League, unfortunately, when we've had too much to drink at 3 a.m. and the games are starting at 4, 5, 6 a.m. We just like to have fun with it, and that's what it's all about. And pass it off to my boy Jeff here. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, my name is Jeff. Greetings from Charlotte, North Carolina. As you can see, I'm all about North Carolina things, and I'm the novice of the group. I understand soccer for the most part, but I am excited about sharing my journey with you as I explore the world's game, soccer, as we say in the States, but world football as the rest of the world would love to, knows it and loves it. So buckle your seatbelts. If I know these is going to be lots of chuckles, some laughs, some debates, some arguments, but in the end, we say soccer is the point. So,
and we're here.
Let's get it. Appreciate it, Jeff. First, let's talk about all of our favorite teams, so we can let people know a little insight about ourselves. Me and Jibbs, personally, we are Manchester United fans. We support them through and through.
GGMU.
You will get a little bit of bias in our takes, but we will try to give you honest takes. And by all means, no, there is bias behind some of our takes, but we will try to give you as honest takes as we can. And as far as national teams, we all pretty much follow the same team. You see JB rocking the USA kit as it is right now. And then we just have a couple favorite players we follow. That's for our international love. That's how we go. And then Jeff, do you want to talk about your journey? Maybe JB, actually, Jibbs, do you want to introduce Jeff's journey? One of our segments we're so excited to introduce, especially.
Let's actually pause on that real quick. So, John, one question that a lot of people always talk about, some of our favorite podcasts, even that we follow, for you, is a club or country? Which do you go for in the footy world first?
For me, if anybody knows me, they already know this is an easy answer for me. I love America, but it has to be. There's only one, Manchester United. Has to be club over country for me. I think has to be.
I get that. I think if you put a gun to my head, and we're talking just what I want to see and what's coming for the world stage, if 6 months ago I wouldn't be saying this, but I'm kind of leaning country at the moment.
No, the two cups.
So many exciting players too, though. The Gio Reynas of the world, the Pulisic's of the world, and even the guys who aren't joining us. Like, we'll dive into more stuff like this later. But when you're good enough to have good goalkeepers like Ochoa applying to go back to the Mexican national team because he's behind several keepers on the roster, that gives me excitement there for the future, that youth
100%.
movement that I see in other sports. But like John alluded to, what I'm most excited about, almost like our first series in this thing, is getting Jeff in the fold. And we are going to be biased. We are going to be pushing buttons there. But he's going to be watching predominantly these Premier League teams with a little bit of Serie A, French League One, Bundesliga built in, La Liga, of course, even though, shoot, they may not exist in a year with their financial troubles. And kind of seeing who he gets attached to. I think we've both had friends. You had a good friend go Everton. I had a good friend from college go Chelsea, just because of our introducing them to the game organically in the last 4 years. They're both almost as hardcore as we get on it.
Exactly.
Without further ado, Jeff, do you have any early thoughts? Are you kind of doing the best friend or sister or girlfriend thing where you're like, oh, that kid's cool, that mascot's cool? Have you done any early research into who might be your favorite squad?
Well, it's funny to mention that. So I've started to do some research. So the answer to your question is yes. I started doing some research, but the way that I operate is that to be a fan of a team, I'm going to have to be able to relate or be able to have a reason to follow that team, right? That makes sense to me. Like, so what I do, like if I meet somebody and I go, hey, if you have a favorite football team, American football team, right? And they go, I like the Raiders. And we're all from North Carolina. We grew up here. And so if I know, have you ever been to Oakland? No. Well, why are you a Raiders fan? Oh, no, I like the Pirates logo. That's not good enough for me. I need more substance, right? That's just me as a fan. I need more substance. So what I started doing was, okay, what are the top 10? Who are the top players in the league, right? So I was just doing some research and I was going through this list of people, and it's weird because my journey into world football, started with some World Cups. I really didn't know too much about it, and I'll be honest with you, I played soccer in like middle school, right? For a season. And I mean, I was terrible at it. I'm a football player, like American football player. And you imagine American football player trying to play soccer. It's not a very good look. I wasn't very good at it. So I understand the rules for the most part, but I really got invested in it when we started watching the World Cup stuff. And this was, previously. And I love that. I love the whole, camaraderie, everybody banding together. And that segues kind of back into what you guys were just talking about club or country. So I didn't really know what you meant at that moment, but I'm kind of, presuming you mean that. Would you rather your club team like Manchester United win a championship or America win a World Cup?
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. I have to disagree with you, Big John. I don't understand.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't understand. It's America's first. America's first. Morgan, have you even been to where is that? So have you been to Manchester?
Not yet. No, I haven't.
Okay, no. So then I believe that until you've been to Manchester, then it has to be country. When you take a picture in front of the Manchester Stadium, then I'll believe you. Then I'll believe you for country over club.
All right.
But anyways, so my journey this way is, in all honesty, Big John is kind of like my guru. He's been guiding me through this entire journey. I mean, I remember we went into
Namaste.
We went to the mall right in DC, and you got your jersey signed, right? Was that what it was?
Just right here, this one.
I had just got to DC. I only been there for maybe a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, something like that. And we waited in line. It was crazy. I was shocked to see. Careful. I was shocked to see that so many people came because they played in the city. That
It was international, the Championships Cup.
Right.
Barca,
so I had no idea.
They played Barca.
All I thought was I always thought it was just the USA men's team. That's who people cheered for if we were talking about world soccer. So when Big John explained it to me, he told me, hey, well, no, EPL is like the NBA of the world, basically, right? Like all the best players in the world play or in the Euros or in these leagues over in that area. So what I've been doing, he sent me this this fantastic. What is it? The EPL premiere. The highlights are
Preview. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to watch it. After
No
this.
free shout outs. Thanks, NBC Sports.
Yeah, I got Peacock, so I'm going to be watching them. But what I was going to say was, apparently La Liga is going. ESPN is airing every La Liga game this season.
Yeah.
As well as Bundesliga is on ESPN Plus too.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm assuming does NBC Sports play every EPL game? It looked like they did.
Yeah, it's either going to be on Peacock and TV.
All right,
yeah.
so you know what? Before I came into this, I only thought I was going to be able to watch La Liga every day if I wanted to. But now you're telling me that I can watch La Liga, Bundesliga, and EPL at my leisure. Okay, great. So I'm starting from scratch. So this is day one, and so this is what it is. I am just learning about the teams. I'm going through the leagues to find out who plays where. And trying to catch up with all these guys. I mean, these guys are fantastic. So once I get up to speed, I'm going to love doing this every week and telling you what I've learned and where I'm at. So no team yet, but it's coming soon.
And you can kind of cheat with that too. I mean, when you get attached to that favorite player, that's what it's all about. I mean, when I became a Man United fan, I was living in Japan at the time, and I'm a hometown New York Yankees fan. They loved Derek Jeter when I was over there.
Well, how about this? How about this, Jibbs? How about you guys both tell me why you guys are if it's club over country, right? And why you like that team or that club or that country.
So mine's going to be shorter. So let me steal the reins here, John. So mine was David Beckham living in Japan. He was the craziest thing worldwide. Becks. I mean, he bagged himself Spice Girl. Let's be real here. I mean,
sheesh.
Top class, but also he was a world-class player. I actually am one of the believers that he is underrated compared to not only his talent, but what he meant to the world of soccer footy. He was not Michael Jordan big, but he would have been
transformative.
The 90s Mount Rushmore, he would have been the soccer player with Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, Brett Favre or Troy Aikman or Emmett Smith from American football. And he would have been probably the soccer choice of the 90s. So that's who I watched and who I got into, because he was as big in Japan as they also love baseball as Ken Griffey Jr. and Derek Jeter were in the mid to late 90s. So that's who I followed. And then really the U.S. men's national team was the summer we graduated high school. Me and Big John graduated together. Hoga Bonita, watching those Brazil teams, those Italian teams, those French teams, Zinedine Zidane. I know John and I both loved Ronaldinho, and it wasn't just because of the FIFA soccer game anymore. That tournament made it like, this guy is mind-boggling good. And he played on those classy Serie A teams and won Champions Leagues over there. He did some time in Spain with Barca. Just guys like that made us gravitate it on a world level. Like, I was just a Manchester United fan when I was little, but that only applied to the video games until that World Cup. And then it turns around 4 years later, and 4 years after that, the U.S. have real strong showings. Fall in love with Tim Howard, fall in love with Dempsey, and just getting kicked in the face and then scoring a header. Like, stuff like that is just what changed.
John Brooks scoring against
John Brooks header, unbelievable.
Oh,
that goal, and to tie it into Man United as a fandom, wasn't the Van Persie goal that same tourney?
It was, and it was from Daily Blind with
And
the Van
Daily
Hall
Blind.
coach team.
Just a batshit crazy one after how beautiful 06 was. Like, it was just great. And Hogo Bonita summed it up perfectly for that theme. So, John, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, obviously, I know you went club over country. Right now, I'm leaning U.S. men's national team over club, but it can change, especially if we don't have a full-time coach in the U.S. in 2 years.
Yeah, no, mine definitely leans club.
Someone call that bandwagon.
Yeah, no. We've been on US. But no, mine's definitely club just because with me it started with United back in 06, the same thing JB was talking about, that World Cup, the Yoga Bonita Nike commercials, and then honestly the movie Euro Trip, like when they went to, ironically, a Manchester United fan bar or pub, excuse me, in London, and it was just like I was like, oh, Manchester United, I know that team. And I went and started watching the Rooney, the Giggs, the Scholes. I started watching the old videos of Cantona, of Keno, of all that. And I was like, man, this is the team for me. Like, they got the swagger where they know they're the best. They got the best coach. Like,
Speaking of best, George Best, you and I have gone that as far
exactly.
back as that in discussions.
Exactly.
George Best is basically like a YA Tittle, Jeff. Like, way back in history.
He would get drunk as shit and then go out and score like 3 goals like it was nothing.
Yeah,
like,
Joe Namath level.
Yeah, Joe Namath is a good. Yeah. And then
Joe Namath lived through the 70s, so I know he was out there having a good time.
That's when Georgie Best was out there.
Yeah, still showed up to work. Yeah.
And that's when Best was United king. So,
and around that time too, Ronaldo, I've always been one of those guys that kind of respect like flashy players and guys that just get it done. And I just saw Ronaldo and I was like, man, this dude is a machine. And ever since then, I've just been a United fan, following him ever through. And then like, that's been one of my only sports teams. I have a kind of an NFL team. I kind of have an NBA team, but it's been one of my one teams that I've religiously followed through and through. So that's why it has to be, by all means, it's a 55-45 kind of club over country thing, but it has to be club just because we need it. It's been like 9 years since we got the Prem, 4 years since a big trophy.
Yeah,
we've lost in semifinals. We lost in finals.
How long has it been since the U.S. won the World Cup?
Shit, forever. I
don't believe that. Like, oh, it's our time.
No, but not to sound bad, like it would mean more for me, realistically. I'll take because I believe so much in the U.S. that if in this hypothetical Genie situation, Man City is a very strong ass team. I would rather take the Genie helping Man United than the Genie helping U.S. because I believe in the U.S. to win. If not in Qatar, get to the round of 16. Well, no, we have to get to the round of 16. I think we get to the semifinals or the quarterfinals or the semifinals in Qatar. But I believe we can win in USA.
Right now, right? We're ranked in the top 10.
We're eighth. We're eighth.
9. Yeah. I think it's 9.
9. Might be 9.
That's the one thing I haven't pulled up. I'm pretty sure it's 9, and Mexico went back to 10. But I mean, I'll pull that up while we're also chatting too.
But that's dope. That's dope. And I need, and that's exactly what I need. I need a reason that that brings you to your team, right? And and I believe that's part of sports, right? I mean, that's why we all. I mean, if not just the distraction, we get we get to turn off from the real world type of stuff, and you get to focus on something else. If you're from a certain city, everybody's behind you. Which is why I'd be like, damn, dude, like if the United States won a World Cup, do you imagine the people in the streets? Like it'd be bedlam. Like imagine DC if the US,
the watch party
World Cup. Especially in the times we're living right now.
Well, I mean, realistically, we felt it real life when USA didn't make the World Cup. Me and you moved to DC in a World Cup time frame that we could have went down to the National Mall in all red, white, and blue with a 2x4 in our hands saying, ho! But no, we couldn't because they didn't make the World Cup.
And we decided that if the World Cup ever comes to the US,
we are going. Oh yeah, no.
We're gonna come.
Hey, we say soccer fans, you will have a vlog from us 3 at a World Cup event in the USA.
Most definitely. And I think I don't know when it's going to be, but we're on the schedule. Are we on the schedule?
2026.
Yeah, we're on the shared one. There's a lot going into that, so we'll see. Like,
2028 because it was 2020, then 2024, then 2028. Yeah.
And that's great. You know why?
Hey, that's why we drink on this podcast, and that's realism. You hear us here live.
Well, what's even better, Big John, is the fact that we're starting this almost a decade before the World Cup comes to the US, right? So if my instincts are correct and my faith in you two is genuine, and I believe it is, by the time we are at the World Cup doing the vlog, this podcast will be one of the top podcasts in the United States.
Ooh,
I'm saying it.
you heard it here first.
Hot take. I'm saying it right now. Hot take.
And I will say just one thing that I know we kept going back and forth, and we've had some medicine and we've had some drinks tonight. What's throwing off in your brain, John? It is 2022 World Cup. It was 2018. And it is 2026, the shared one with North America World Cup. But this 2022 is weird is because being in Qatar, it's actually in November, December.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
US worldwide tourney compared to a normal July and in August 2 weeks before 2 weeks before training camp start, because they would push those back. So we'll see. There's been a lot of controversy with that. I mean, maybe we talk on something like that in the future because of
so what does that mean? What does that mean, Jibbs? What does that mean?
What do you mean?
What?
You're telling me? Are you saying that a lot of games aren't going to be here in the? I mean, if it's North America, that means it's going to be Canada.
It's Canada, Mexico, US. It's a shared bid.
But I mean, you're going to go to DC. Where I mean, are they not? I mean, well,
we have
we don't have.
We have a nice stadium. We don't have the largest one for DC.
It don't matter. It don't matter. We'll go wherever they are. I mean, they're going to have a game in the United States.
Oh yeah, we're going.
Exactly. Yeah, we're good. Charlotte might have one too. So
yeah. Charlotte
because what they'll do, they'll have
candidate.
one in like Mexico City. They'll have one in like probably Vancouver. Probably one in like probably Toronto.
So are you saying that?
Are
you saying the club training camp starts at the same time as the? What are you saying?
No, they'll pause this. I was
they'll pause the Premier League. Yeah. But in a normal year, it's in the summer.
Yeah, normal year it runs like say June 7th through July 14th, and then those guys get 2 or 3 weeks off, and they're going to training camp with
like 2 weeks left till the season starts.
August 13th starts Prem League this year, so that's how tight it normally is. But that'll just be a different kind of animal. And honestly, with a condensed schedule, it's going to make club schedule next year just batshit crazy to start. They're going to be kind of rushing. It'll be almost like makeup time how NBA and NHL had that condensed schedule on their respective sports this past year. It's going to make club schedules crazy next year.
A lot of Wednesday, Sunday, or a lot of Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday games in the Prim, just to try to make it so before the World Cup they can get a lot of games in.
3 games in 9-day weeks.
Yeah,
not weeks, obviously 9 days, but also the other thing too is like these guys aren't going to get a long summer before that because of it, Jeff. They're going to be qualifying. There's going to be playing tournaments probably till what, May, John? For those
I believe so. Yeah.
For those last couple spots, it's just going to be nuts. We're definitely going to have an international breakdown. Maybe when there's an international break in a month when the U.S. schedule gets rolling, a lot of the rest of the world will do. Maybe we'll do an international episode on that one.
We'll do a preview of that since we
country squads.
We won't have Premier League to look forward to, so we can do a international review on that. Speaking of international review, do you guys want to talk about anything that happened this summer? We have our Nations League. We have the Gold Cup, both of which Team USA brought home over Team Mexico. We have Euros. We have the Super Cup that just happened today. Anything you guys want to chat about from soccer over the summer?
We had the CONCACAF down south as well.
Yep, that Nations Cup. Or Nations League.
I believe that name has the longest. It's so many letters.
What did we do? Hold on,
did we talk? I was like, I don't even know how to say this.
It's a cacophony of words.
There's no way I can say it.
So, I guess my question to you two guys is, what was your moment of the summer when it came to all these international competitions? And don't forget, Olympics was in there. Olympic women were in there. What was it for you guys?
Honestly, I'll go first if you don't mind me, John.
Go ahead, you got it, bro.
It was Euros. So I started working remotely this summer. Actually this year in January. So I was actually, here in my apartment, and I got to watch the majority of all the Euros, and I had no idea, that it felt like the World Cup. It was very similar vibes to that.
Yeah,
and especially with that annoying, it's coming home.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I started texting Big John about the games and stuff, and we started watching them, and he hit me up, and it was nice, man. It was refreshing to see some live sports going on and to see people passionate and just to learn about the Euros. I had no idea how it was multiple leagues in Europe, and how the whole thing works out, and it was nice to see. I didn't know Italy was so good. I didn't, now I'm figuring out what teams in Europe are the top teams. France, was up there. England was up there. I'm sorry, Denmark was up there. Belgium, right? Spain, all these, these great teams, and it was a pleasure to watch. And you can tell the difference. Like those guys ball. Like you can tell. Like I watching Italy. They just would pat, like they would get in a little corner and just like pat.
Little triangles.
It was like, I mean, it's like poetry in motion. It's crazy. And the chemistry behind that is,
comparing to a
sport, amount of focus that takes. It's great. It was great to watch. So I think Euros for me.
Yeah, I've always found Italy and Spain, they really run that tight passing game, and they make the field smaller for themselves, but make the other team run their asses off. Like, that's, to me, a sport that I remember you being very good at, basketball, very much the same concept, and they apply it just onto this huge field, the pitch. And, you almost had me with a correction there.
No. I was going to say something. So you're talking about, excuse me, my bad. You guys were talking about, you were talking about the passing. And then, so the first thing I was the first soccer movie I remember watching was a movie called Goal, and I don't remember where I got it from. It was on Disney, or it was something when I was younger. And I remember the guy didn't want to pass, and he was like run to the goal, and every time he would kick the ball would beat. He couldn't stop the ball because the ball it moves much faster than people could run. Right, it's just this is how it works. So watching Italy that just keep passing, these guys are just running and like it looked exhausting. And then, it was a marvelous thing to do. And these guys are the best players in the world, and they're got these guys running in circles.
Yeah,
it was amazing to watch.
Yeah, John, what was your top summer moment?
Mine was a heartbreaking moment, but it does kind of expand on Jeff's moment. It was definitely that Euro ending. Seeing our boys, the young Kings, Rashford, Sancho, and Saka, miss those pins against Italy. I was fortunate enough to share that moment with you, though. We were at your house watching the Euro finals, man, and it just felt like it was time. It was Euros. It was Manchester United players getting subbed in, like Rashford sacrificing his body to be at the Euros, and then we all know what happened next. We don't need to get into that.
And I will say this: England did play well. I'm not going to. I didn't. I wasn't trying to build Italy up, but it was a fantastic final. It was great. The entire.
It was a great final.
Yeah, the whole entire thing was great.
Yeah, for me, that was a good one, and part of that is because maybe a little bit of 06, but I've always a little bit of my family, and then obviously now my wife's family. I'll always root for Italy. It was almost the perfect storm to get me on on England that day. That Luke Shaw goal, I went ape shit because he's one of my favorite United players. Like, very well could be my next kit. And then seeing him, Rashford and Sancho coming in for basically the pens, should have came at halftime of extras, I would have been totally fine with the English win, seeing those guys play well and score. It didn't happen, but I did find the joy in seeing some of the legends of Italy that have been around. Some of them were just borderline on those 06 teams. We're definitely
the defensive guy, right? Who was the defensive
Bonucci,
guy?
Chiellini, all of them.
Chiellini is one of my favorite guys, and
he has a hairline like me and Big John, so I know he's.
and a nose like mine.
I got a Bonucci hairline.
The tough thing with Italy, though, was just like the U.S., they were not at the last World Cup, so that just was huge for them, and getting their youngsters brought up, and now have maybe one more World Cup with. I think Chiellini will be there. I don't know about Bonucci. I'm borderline on him for some reason because I don't think he's been the healthiest the last 5 years. So it was really important for them to get that out of the way, I think. And it was set up like, I just know that the footy gods are going to work out. And like, if not the finals of the World Cup, England and Italy are meeting somewhere at the World Cup. I just know it. Like, system's rigged enough, it's going to happen. But as far as my top moment, I'm going to go with that Giassi Zardes goal in extras for the U.S. Just he's gone through so much crap trying to replace the forwards we've had of the past. He's been really beaten down. Admittedly, he might have been one of the reasons we didn't make the last World Cup, but I've always loved his tenacity. He's been a mini American Balotelli for me. Infamous Italian player, the guy who always takes his shirt off and flexes. Jeff, he was the Ocho Cinco of Italy, essentially, of Italian soccer. I thought we almost had that in Giassi, and it was so cool to see him step up in that moment. So him scoring that goal was tops for me. Just seeing us pull through against Mexico as always.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a very close second. I mean, the Gold Cup was great.
Same.
Yeah, Gold Cup was sick. And then, we're seeing some of the dividends pay off of that. Some of the transfers that are happening that we'll get to, some of the American players hop in the pond, and it's been pretty awesome. So, yeah, that was my moment of the summer for sure.
Well, I was definitely going to say that's a good segue since we're talking about Americans going different places abroad. We can bring in our transfers. We can talk about what transfers we got coming up this summer that we think that have already gone through. Of course, we got this big one. Maybe in some people's mind, the GOAT might have happened, but we also got some nice ones like Josh Sargent going from Bremen to Norwich City. So we got Americans on the move. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Him coming to the Prem in a newly promoted squad.
Yeah. Were they won? They won Champs League last year?
Let me see if
The
they won
championship,
championship.
I should say.
Yeah.
Championship.
So
second division in England, Jeff, is called the Championship. Top three of that league replace the bottom three of the Prem year to year.
Okay.
Relegation and promotion.
I understand. So from what I can understand, and Big John has done his best to explain this to me.
So, Norwich did win it last year, Jay. Jibbs.
If for lack of better terms, an analogy, right? Baseball, minor leagues, right? Or triple, or is it triple A, double A, single A, right?
Yeah.
How it goes? Okay. So if you're in the top, if you win that, then you replace.
If you win triple A, you're automatically up.
The person in the bottom of EPL or the top three.
The bottom three, yeah.
Okay.
And then the next four people, so 2, 3, 4, and 5 go into a playoff, where then the top two teams that win off that then move up as well. And then the bottom three from the Premier League are relegated down to the championship.
Back to that. Okay, that's.
And then so on and so forth. They go from the bottom three of the championship, go down to the League One, and then the League One top three move up, and so on and so forth down the English Premier, the English footballing system. So in essence, you and Jibbs,
17 tiers.
you and Jibbs could make enough money with the help of our great fans at We Say Soccer that we could own the team that could go from the 15th level of English football to the Prem.
So
it just takes some time.
Okay, so we've all watched Ted Lasso, right? So they were at the bottom, right? They right. We watched Ted Lasso, right? Can I say that?
I have.
You haven't watched it, B. John?
No, not yet. I haven't watched it.
Oh, you're dropping the ball, man. Okay.
Hey, we said till September. We have said September.
I won't spoil it then. Okay. Never mind. We'll B. John, homework. You got to watch the first season of Ted Lasso.
Okay.
And then next week I'll ask my question. But
exactly.
I think I understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's just promotion relegation. That's all it is. Like, if you don't perform, you're getting sent down.
Isn't that a great way to like do it though? Like, I mean, I know we have the
here. I'm glad they don't have it in hockey, because even though hockey is the one with a true minor league system, still attached with a senior NHL team, so it would never work. But my favorite hockey team, also the Devils, would have been relegated several times.
No, what it would be like though is like, say like the SEC and like, so like how all these colleges are realigning right now. If you didn't perform, hey, you go back down to the
You
go to the MAC instead of the Big
East.
East.
You go back to the Big 12.
Yeah, you go back to the Big 12. You don't get to play in the SEC. And then the top team, whoever wins the Big 12 gets to come back to the SEC.
Yeah, comes into the SEC. That'd be great. That's what they should do.
They should. It'd be amazing.
That way, everybody. That way you can't. That way, there's not a juggernaut. Well, I guess there will be a juggernaut. There already is a juggernaut. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, I mean,
Alabama would be united and never get relegated.
Yeah.
So.
No, and then so the elephant in the room, Lionel Messi. Whew. Who would ever thought? Left Barcelona though. Like that's a shocker. Like I've never in my life would have thought Messi would have ever left Barcelona. Like
I mean, he didn't really leave. He got kicked.
He said he would have took the 50% pay cut and it didn't.
Well, hey, that jerk. Okay, what, a pay cut from 55 million to 35 a year it was? Like, no, I'm good on that. But that's what, the League of Finance is worrying me. I mean, you almost hope that it gets back to them having their own homegrown talent or not even homegrown. I mean, what I mean is not Spanish blood. I'm saying homegrown talent. I mean,
that's why there was no.
They found Messi when he was 16.
Well, there was no Real Madrid player in the Spain World or Euro team because they got too many. They got too many foreign-born players, which isn't even like I'm not trying to be xenophobic that you had that Spanish players, but they're paying all these people ridiculous wages, and it's not letting them where they can catch up and make the money, especially with COVID going on.
Yeah,
they're paying all these players so much crazy wages where like they can't even sell them because no one else can afford them.
Well, and that's after they underperform, and that
exactly.
In my opinion, I know a lot of people think it's number 2, but especially without those two goats, I've always loved the high scoring of the Serie A, and then because of how high scoring Serie A is, it makes having decent defenders so important. I've again biased. I root for Italy when it's not US. I've always thought Serie A was the second best league in the world. You see a lot of the veteran players go there, even after La Liga. That's where Ronaldo went.
Yeah, it's just that slower pace where they can sit more on the ball and make the plays, and I think that's what they like about it. Is that's what opens it up, like you said, is why you like it. It's so open.
But then they have top end speed forwards and attacking mids. I mean, I don't think it's as bruising as the EPL. Like,
definitely not as physical or as fast.
And just wreck house if he was allowed to. But Spain needs to take a little bit of that back. I think that's where they're struggling. That's where they've had some tough breaks, and not even just the Spanish blood homegrown. Barca found Messi when he was 16. They took the chance on the scrawny kid that could dance. That rhymed. But they gave him that opportunity and let him work at his own speed. But all of a sudden, they had no choice. He was 17, wrecking everyone besides senior team members. And then at 18, he started or 18, 19, he started killing it in the senior leagues too. So,
and I think
you need to get back to that.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to see almost like a little rebirth in Barcelona where you're going to have these young kids like Pedri. If Moriba stays, you got Trincao that's on loan, I think, at Wolves this year. They're just going to have these young players that are going to come through where they're not going to be able to afford these Galactico, even though I know it's Real Madrid word, but they're not going to afford these big signings. They're going to have to let these guys go and bring their young kids through and see what they can do. Sergio Dest, speaking of Americans, have him come through on the right back side.
And they brought him in at a nice early age. Like, I'm so excited to see what he does.
Exactly.
We're going to need him because, unfortunately, on the U.S. front, DeAndre Yedlin didn't really pan out besides speed. He didn't become our American Luke Shaw like we were hopeful for.
Exactly.
Even though I think he's older than Shaw. I can't remember.
Some other transfers. What do you think of Big Rob?
Before you move on, Big John, okay, so we were just talking about the Messi transfer, correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Right, and so, so
that's a good point. Jeff, how do you feel? I was going to say, how do you feel as a person not in the soccer world hearing that Messi has left his team and gone? This is like Michael Jordan leaving the Bulls and going to another team. How do you feel about this?
Well, and that was the thing. Like, I didn't really know what was happening until I started reading the articles. And the guy had been there since he was like 12 or something like that. right? You know, he's like 30, 33 years old, 34. He's been there longer than he's been alive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 80%, a good portion of more than half of his life.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Right. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, that's crazy, right? So then I thought, well, the first thing I thought was the way the news broke was talks halt, right? Or there's slowed or something. And then the next thing we know, he was like, oh, he's not signing. That's it.
Shout out Fabrizio Romano.
Right?
If you are a soccer fan, you need to follow Fabrizio Romano for all your transfer news. He is the Adam Schefter. He is the Woj wound up into one for soccer transfer news. So you need to follow Fabrizio Romano. This is where Jeff and me and JB will get most of our transfer news from that we super rely on because Fabrizio Romano knows what he is doing. And we'll get into more in that in future episodes about how he gets his info and stuff like that. But go ahead, Jeff, how again with what you were feeling with this Messi transfer.
So that happened. So then I thought, well, damn, why would he leave? Like who leave? Like, I mean, like why would why would Michael leave? The Bulls. I mean, I get coaches and stuff like that. So I just wanted to know why it broke down so quickly. Like, I'm assuming this was a shock for everybody, right? I wasn't following. Up until now. So then, this brought me into part of my journey, me learning about the teams and how this works. So I started. So when we figured out where he was going was PSG, and PSG is not in the English Premier League, right?
Nope.
Right.
Ligue 1.
It's in Serie 1.
No,
Ligue 1.
Ligue 1, and that's in
France.
Okay.
Paris Saint-Germain is PSG.
Okay, great.
It's essentially like the ACC where there's only one good team.
Oh, okay. I get okay, and the PSG is that team.
Yeah, and Carolina is like Lille and they're
the team that's always in the
PSG is Clemson.
Championship League. Basically.
Yeah, PSG is Clemson. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Lille's like Carolina. They'll win a couple times. Marseille's like Miami. They'll win maybe here and there. They might challenge Clemson. Historically, they might challenge Clemson but not get there. Virginia Tech is like Lyon or something.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and so I started looking into PSG, right? And then I saw that. So it kind of all goes for a full circle because I was starting to look at the top 10 players in the world.
Yeah. Well,
so
they got about 3 of them now.
I found Mbappe, and I remember watching the Euros. And first off, I'm gonna tell you right now, my initial instincts were. You would think I only like Mbappe because he's black, right? And I was very close to that point, but honestly, I just like saying his name. I think it's a fun ass name to say. His name is Mbappe. It's almost like M'Baku from like Black Panther. I love that shit. I just think it's a cool fucking name. You have 2 consonants at the beginning of your name. It's fantastic. So I just and then so I thought, okay, well, who else is on here? So then I started looking at the list again. And am I correct to say that Neymar is on PSG as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Messi's bro.
You just said okay, so this is a big fucking deal, right? Is this big?
Yeah.
F-bomb. This is a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like this is a lot. This is huge.
It's a big
deal.
Jeff, to put it in perspective,
it's the NBA. It's to the Heat.
Hold on. No, this is bigger. Let me tell you why. When it was officially announced today, the PSG club Instagram account today added 4.5 million followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that shit crazy this is. And there's so many levels to it.
And think about it. Someone said, is Messi bigger than Jordan? But then you got to think about Messi is wearing a Jordan kit.
Yep, I saw the Jordan picture.
I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed. Only reason I say no is because he's in the same era as another GOAT with Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Has more followers than him on social media. Ronaldo's the most followed person in the world.
What if Jordan is the Messi of basketball?
No.
I think Jordan's still bigger.
Oh.
Now
that's for episode 3, folks.
But if you go to Yeah. Well, let's save that. Let's save that.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
That's a huge one. And there's so many levels because there's fandom in it for me and Big John with another GOAT that we'd have to bring into that. But bringing it back to Messi, why this is also a big deal, why there's levels to it, is he's rejoining Neymar, who played with him at Barca when Neymar was the wonder kid 5-6 years ago. So that brings that South American flair back together. Argentinian, Brazilian, just played against each other in the CONCACAF final, but they're boys, and they're back together. They're joined by one of their other rivals, Sergio Ramos, was on Real Madrid, competed for La Liga titles, competed in all
Against
those Clásicos,
Barcelona.
competed in Champions Leagues, Real Madrid against Barca. He's on defense. He's going to be tasked shutting down the counterattacks they helped give up and getting them the ball back to go do their thing. And then you add all this in, and you have your boy, the next wonder kid, probably the best wonder kid since Neymar, with a boy that you attached to in the Euros, Mbappe. Like, no, this isn't Jordan and the Bulls because he never got help. This is the New York Yankees of the late 90s or early 2000s having Jeter and adding A-Rod.
Yeah.
Mark Teixeira.
That's a great analogy for me. That worked very well.
It's that big. But those are all the levels that are into it that are just off the top of my head right now. There's more to it. John, what do you got on it?
Well, the reason, too, is that, like, because PSG has failed in the Champions League, which, as you've been hearing just me and JB talk about, that's where the best of the best come out. Like, if you're the team, like, unfortunately for us, Chelsea won it. Good job to them, though. Congrats to them. Well fought. City bottled it, but well fought.
Exactly.
But that's where it's right now pretty much for those big money clubs. It's PSG versus City, an arms race to see who can win Europe first because neither of them have, because they both come up too short. So PSG adding Messi, adding Ramos.
Too short.
Exactly. Like, and then we got Man City adding Grealish, possibly adding Harry Kane. Like we'll see if that goes down. Like, and it's just an arms race to try to get to who the best of Europe. And apparently FIFA fair play doesn't exist anymore. So money is not an option. It is like baseball where it's the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, like who can buy the most and who can reload and just up their wins against replacement, essentially.
Yeah.
So I got three things. One, didn't Neymar break his back or something like that?
Yeah, he had a vertebrae, one of those vertebrae in the World Cup.
Spinal.
We got our first snort of the pod. Let's go.
Okay,
Number two.
So JB, I know you were talking about Sergio Ramos was a rival of those guys.
They played at Real Madrid.
Now they're on the same team.
In La Liga.
Right? Now they're on the same team.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman just joined the Bulls.
Right. So
from the Pistons, exactly. Great analogy.
Yeah, they're professionals, right? They're professionals. They can handle that, right? Unless they're like, were they getting in a fight? Was it Malice in the Palace type of stuff, or
Ramos is known to hurt some folks.
Ramos is definitely the Rodman of the crew, like for sure. Like he's definitely you might get an elbow here and there, yeah.
Also, personally, one of my favorite non-United players ever, going back the last decade.
Wait, I'm sorry, JB.
No, but that's the analogy. He was the Rodman beating up on Madrid or on Barca when he was at Madrid. Like when Madrid went back to back, he was just as important in Ronaldo in those big matches, in my opinion. And that's me growing up loving Ronaldo too, but him also being somebody I appreciated. Like he was the bad boy that's going to come in, and that might help the rest of. PSG was already favored with him joining to maybe be that mentor and that experience and that badassness for the rest of PSG that just kept failing. So now you're adding Messi back into it, and it's like, sheesh.
And then my third thing was you guys were just talking about it. So, well, I just thought of the question: what's more important, like the Euros or the Champions League? Like the Champions.
Well, the Euros is an international event. That's country.
Right. Oh wait,
and then
in the Champions League isn't it from all the leagues that are in?
Yeah, it is. I would say Euros is more important because the
Euros is the second most important continental Cup. Period. It's the World Cup and then the Euros. Like
And more people
for international play.
More
So
people
what I'm
will
saying
watch.
is it's all the same players, right? What I'm thinking is it's all the same players. It's just they're just on
somewhat,
different
but like
teams.
Messi and Neymar aren't in the Euros because they're Argentinian and Brazilian.
Yeah.
So like we'll get into this, and okay, so for our viewers and listeners at home too, we'll get into this more in the next episode where we'll explain the breakdown between club, international play, UEFA Champions League, Europa League, FA Cup, EFL, all those Mesa Cups. We will get into that next episode. So we don't want to get into it too much this episode because we are saving that for our next episode. But Jeff, there is differences where Euros is an international play where it's like Team USA was in the CONCACAF type thing.
Yeah.
That's how the Euros are, but for European countries. And then the Champions League is the club where it's clubs that all play within Europe, but they're in their own leagues. And again, we have a good analogy that we will let all of you know about that kind of simplifies it. It's going to bring Jeff along in this journey as well. But we are saving that to the next episode. So don't fret. It's coming.
Let me answer that question real quick. To answer the question, though, Jeff, I think it goes World Cup, the Euros, and Champions League and hype. A big part of that is think about a great country that even you took notice of, or two of them. You mentioned Belgium, the Netherlands, and you mentioned Denmark. Those three leagues aren't really big participants because of how early they get knocked out in Champs League. So to them, country's more important. And I think to countries like France, Italy, for sure, country's more important. And then I think Spain and England, I'd say it's 50-50. Germany, country's definitely more important because they still have kind of like that national pride overall, even though the Bundesliga and some of the players they produce organically in Germany are coming up. But I would definitely say it's World Cup, Euros, Champions League, important in a matter of importance across Europe. So just to answer your question.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I was just doing some research. I had a question, and you guys are heavily into world football and soccer. So I had a question pop up, man. I'm gonna give you guys a random question, and I'll see if we can get this.
All right, here we go.
Don't cheat. All right, don't cheat. Don't Google.
Hands here.
Eyes, Jibbs here.
Hands here.
All right, hands up. Okay. How many World Cups have there been?
I don't want to do the math. Can I guess the first year?
Just guess a number. I need a number.
Like 18. That's my guess.
Okay.
No, I'm going to go. I'm trying to do quick math.
Yeah, I know. I can't figure out. Yeah. No, I think
22.
Huh?
20. No, 26.
Oh, so if we're playing Price is Right, Jibbs, you're out. The answer was 21.
Hey.
21.
Oh, 21.
Oh, all right. We were within there, though.
So my quick math kind of failed because there was things like
World War. You're at 22, and then you're like, wait a minute.
But my quick math didn't work because of things like world wars. I think didn't allow a couple of them to happen, or they became unofficial at some point. Actually, that was more World War I than World War II. Funny enough, but I can't remember that. But
Jibbs, I love how your mind works.
Yeah, I was trying to do math. Wasn't the first one like the end of the 1800s though? Like 1886 or 1878 or something?
Well, when was the first? I don't know. I get to stay tuned for next week. We'll ask you.
Yeah, we'll talk on that.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
So wrapping up Messi, what some of the rumors that are out there now we'll pop into. No, let's save that whale one for last that we talked about earlier, John.
100%.
Pod. But
well, let's talk about. I was gonna say let's talk about some of the ones we already know are confirmed. Like
Josh Sargent happened.
Exactly. We have
Busio went over.
Busio went to Venezia in Italy.
Venezia, to join another American. Can't remember who else is on that roster right now though.
We have Grealish as a new English record for 100 million.
Yeah. Our boy Ram.
Yeah. Big.
Busio's the guy. Did we talk about that guy already?
Yeah, Busio. So he went to the Italian league, Jeff.
I'm open. So speaking of that, so what about the Acosta guy? Is he gonna get transferred somewhere or not? He looked like he was balling, man.
I
I mean,
don't
he
think
was
so.
balling definitely Gold Cup.
He's kind of at a weird age. I think his big English window probably would have been if we qualified 4 years ago for the World Cup, or 3 years ago qualifying. He would have been transferred probably that World Cup summer, to be real. I think he kind of missed that personally, just kind of.
Are you saying he's too old?
I think, I don't know
I
if you
think he's
want
just
to
a
make
little
him.
past his prime for the big European, the big five in Europe. I think like MLS is
Yeah.
a good spot where he can be an all-star, be a top of the league type player, but not have too much pressure on him where he's in the big top five European clubs where it's almost a faster paced game than, of course, the MLS is going to
I
be.
was just going to say that because he was everywhere, but I do remember watching those Euros, and they moved a lot faster than they did in that Gold Cup. That's a fact.
Gold Cup, remember, was like our BC team, or yes, I had
Was that
that.
Mexico's BC team as well?
That was Mexico's like A B team.
Yeah, no,
I'd give them a solid B minus.
I don't know, man.
I think that was their A team.
It wasn't just because of clubs why they were missing guys. They had a couple of injuries. Just, a little bit of respect to rival there. But I think Acosta also knows his name's the biggest out there, because soccer's big on endorsements when he's balling for America. So there is some maybe preservation there as well. Like, the MLS schedule works very nicely for getting to training early, and not only distance, but the schedule itself to get into training early each time there's tournament prep and things like that. So I think that's why he's very comfortable over here.
Yeah, I agree. Also, we have Ben White moving from Brighton to Arsenal, $50 million. Seems like he got the English tax on that one. He is the English international. Was on the squad for the Euros, I should say. Didn't really play too much behind Stones and Maguire.
I think he only got in against Scotland, right?
Yeah. Speaking of center backs, we got Varane coming from Real Madrid. I think this is a big.
Almost here we go on everything except pen to paper.
Exactly. Tomorrow, when this pod is out, it should be official.
Yeah.
Official medical done.
I do like that move, by the way, though.
34 million.
I would have had Brighton a couple pegs more up on my list, like pushing top 10 if he was still there. I still like them. Like, I'm going to enjoy betting on them this year.
Their XG last year was so through the roof, but then they just couldn't actually finish. And we'll see if they can do that this year.
Analytics darling, for sure.
Exactly. And then we talked about, like I said, Big Rom coming to Chelsea, another player that played for a team in a different team of Premier League, played for Chelsea before, played for United, went to Inter, came back to Chelsea for about 100 to 120, it's reported. It's just kind of like Sancho, played for City, went away, went to Dortmund, comes back, comes to United. This could be the year where these two are fighting for one of the top spots in the league, maybe for the Golden Boot. We will see. Sancho's maybe more of a support guy than a scorer, but we'll see it from there.
I think the Ron move kind of works out because even though it is back to Chelsea and I disliked him when he was there the first time, I really appreciated like his effort, not the results with United, maybe is the fair way. I know he got some clutch goals, but overall he never went full all-star for us.
And to be honest, he looks like he's improved since he's went to Inter. Like he definitely looks like his first touch.
Yeah,
exactly. It doesn't look like his first touch is a fire hydrant's first touch anymore. So he should be pretty decent.
Yeah, and it'll be cool to have him back in the fold. It definitely makes you think. I'm glad Chelsea paid a F load for it, and then I'm really glad that he's going to be playing for Tuchel, whatever you want to call their manager's name. I think
Tuchel,
because he's French, I think. I'm really glad he's playing for him because I don't think he's going to be super lethal against teams like us out there on that island. Not with us having Varane and Slabhead in the middle.
I really do think we have one of the best defenses in the league with United, with
Europe.
Luke Shaw being one of the best left backs in the world, if not the best. Varane, Slabhead, Aaron Wan-Bissaka being one of the best defensive right backs in the league, if not the best. And it's just going to be a good season. I think there's going to be a real battle for the top four, especially with those top three teams. I think I think that's a good segue. Actually, get us into our predictions of what we think is going to happen.
Hold on.
We'll go.
Let's talk.
What do you think?
The whale rumor.
Oh, I did forget.
Do you think it happens?
Mr. Harry Kane.
Harry.
Hello, Harry.
Jeff, I'm sure you remember Harry Kane, the striker, the scorer from the English team.
He's on that top 10 list.
Yes.
Yeah. He's right. He probably just scored right behind you in that GIF.
Yeah.
Tottenham.
Big rumors of him leaving the Spurs and going to Manchester City, which would make everybody cream themselves, and they would all of a sudden just be PSG versus City in the Champions Finals.
Yeah, who won the last 4 English?
3 of the last 4. Yep.
Yep.
And you know what? So, John, you sent me that season premiere, right?
The preview. Yep.
And so the first thing that popped up was Manchester City. So first of all, I was pretty confused because I was like, wait, Manchester United is not blue. I knew that much. So I didn't realize that Manchester had two teams. It's like
most cities do.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So and I didn't know that. So me learning the teams. So they were painting the emblem is a worker bee.
No, well that's
Manchester.
The city of Manchester's emblem is a worker bee.
Okay.
Manchester City is like a bird, and then Manchester United is a red devil.
Okay, so the B is for the city, and they were just
of Manchester. Yeah.
The colors.
It's like how Georgia is a peach kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know. I like the idea of the worker bee thing. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Don't try to go to the blue side because of a worker bee.
I was damn sure getting close. I was enjoying that. I don't know. Just that.
It could be worse though.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Bees save the earth, man.
Yeah, but that's not Manchester City. That's just Manchester, the city of Manchester.
I'm glad I asked.
And the working bee class of Manchester roots for United.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens. I mean, a lot of my commentary on Harry Kane to City will come in our prediction portion, and some ideas I'm going to toss back and forth and with you, because I think that's going to give Jeff the players to watch list, that short list, Heisman Trophy watch list,
exactly,
to be religious about. But I think it'll be a lot of mouths to feed. You know, I don't think there's pressures.
There's only one ball in Manchester City. Like they can only pass so many people. There's only 11 that can get on the pitch.
Yeah,
and
this
that bench is only so long.
This isn't League One.
Exactly.
You can go out and draw with the team in 17th place, as United found out last season.
I was going to say, a la Sheffield United.
But that could happen to anybody on any given week. I think there'll be a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, well, okay, so you're saying there's no room on Manchester City for Harry Kane? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, there is room in the striker position because it's really only Gabriel Jesus.
I'm about to say, if he's a top 10
he's
player,
slotting in.
Somebody's getting benched. There ain't no doubt about it.
But it's those people that the reason that Manchester City is so good is because so Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and I'll even say Liverpool, starting 11s, you could argue for either of those starting 11s being the best starting 11. But there's only one team in England that's second 11 could also probably make the Champions League, and that's Manchester City.
Let me ask you this. I know that a striker is not in the back, but this is what I was under the impression of, that Manchester City is known for their back four. Is that correct?
No. That's their money. Their money.
They paid a lot, but their back four is okay. Ruben Diaz is the best, probably.
So they paid.
Him and Varane are the best center backs.
They're the Yankees. They paid the most money and they're getting the least production out of them. But they won 3 of the last 4. It doesn't make sense.
No, they get production, but they're not. But they rotate. Like if they have somebody bad, they don't just sit on a player. They'll just sell him and bring someone else new in. It's not oh, hey, we're stuck with him. Nope. Hey, get him out. Even if we got to sell him for half price, we'll get rid of him and bring someone else new in.
Before United got Harry Maguire, City paid the most for an English defender for John Stones, and they already had 2 world-class guys. None of them were outside backs. They were all center backs. So they paid a world record for an English defender for him to be in this 3-man rotation
of 2 positions. Yeah.
Of 2 positions.
If those teams you just mentioned, Big John, if you said that they're
starting 11s,
the starting 11 could easily be the best in the.
You could argue either way.
If Harry Kane goes to Man City,
he's going or he's not going? No.
That's the rumor.
It's rumor.
If he goes, who leaves and where does he go?
I mean, it's just Gabriel Jesus going to the bench because Aguero already left City. Aguero and Jesus kind of shared time as City's number 9, which is the striker position. But Aguero went to Barcelona on a free. So now it's Gabriel Jesus, and then they'll probably rotate where it'll be like Sterling as a false 9, where he'll play a little bit farther back in midfield and just kind of facilitate to the wings with Grealish cutting in. Because they have Grealish now, that means that they can move Raheem Sterling to the middle or move Grealish to the middle as a false 9 to a shadow striker. So Harry Kane slots in perfectly. Really, honestly, he's just taking where he'll get 75 to 80% of the reps as striker instead of 50-50 with Jesus and someone else.
Okay, I get it. And so this is where my Americanized mind works. And I know I'm getting up ahead of us, but we definitely have to go over an episode. We have to go over how the trades and the acquisitions,
the transfers,
how they work, and
100%.
Because it's confusing as hell to me.
And it's completely different than the USA thing. So we are right.
In my mind, I'm thinking he's coming in, then somebody's leaving. And you know what I mean, like, and he's going to leave. Like, So we'll get into that. But
again, that's another reason to keep continuing to listen to We Say Soccer. Even if you are a novice soccer to footy fan, we will bring you into the game as we are bringing Jeff into the game. Jeff is your conduit. Like, text us on our Twitter. Like, hit us up in our DMs. Ask us questions. Like, Jeff will be asking questions throughout the year, which we will bring into future segments in the show. We'll say, hey, this is a good segment. Let's save this so you can learn about the league. So if you're at the water cooler on a Saturday morning on the job, you're not really listening to us on Friday and then hear and talk about it on that Saturday morning. Say, hey, this is what I heard about Everton this weekend. They got Liverpool at Goodison Park. What do you think? And sound like you know what you're talking about. Because we will bring you along on this journey and we will teach you and bring you along through our eyes as Americans and use analogies that we understand to bring you along in this game.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I think it's time, if you're ready, Jay, I think it's time to let's get to our predictions.
Yeah, let's bang them out. You know, nothing too lengthy.
Exactly.
I had a couple of notes. Jeff, what research did you do here? Did you look up like projected top teams? Did you look into this at all?
Projected top teams of how they're going to play.
How they finish, how the standing, like predictions.
So I started from the ground up. So I'm starting with who won last year, right? So that's how I know Manchester City won last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started watching that preview. So not much. So 0.
Cool. So then I'll hop into mine because I didn't know if you had any quick ones. I'll just run through my list real quick, John, and then you can.
All right, you want to go? I was going to say, do you want to go 7-1?
Or
do you want to go 1-7?
The way I compiled it will be a little bit tough, so I'm gonna go 1 down.
Okay.
Whatever dealer's choice.
No. I'll go with that. I can go 1 down.
So unfortunately, I do still think it's City. I think that's Harry Kane aside. I think Grealish, even though he's going to block players even younger than he is, even though he's still
as number 1. As I do think, unfortunately, like you said, I don't think Grealish adds that much of a difference. I don't think he's changing someone. He's taking like Bernardo Silva's spot. He's taking some minutes from Mahrez, a little bit from Sterling. I don't think he's that much of an upgrade. But I just think that team is so solid and how much they can control the Premier League with what we talked about earlier, how they have a starting 11 that is
Yeah.
arguably the best in the league, as well as a second 11 that could also make the Champions League if they wanted to. And that's why I think I agree with you that I do, as much as it pains me to say it, I do think City take it home this year again. I don't think it'll be as clean cut as years past. I think it'll be a little bit more of a race between who we have as our 2, 3, and even possibly our 4.
But the way you just phrased that, let me say my 4 then, because I bet you yours is identical.
Okay.
3 and 4. City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool.
That's exactly what I have too.
Yeah. And I have a note. I think Chelsea and Liverpool are really close. I know people love Chelsea. There's even some predictions on them winning the league just because of Tuchel's system. I think they're still going to hamstring the offense.
And I think
even though they'll get those Timo goals and now they have Rom, I just think it's too back thinking. I think it's a lot of sitting
I think
back.
it's too front heavy is what I think.
Yeah, with no midfielders. Know who it reminds me of? I know they did really well just playing all defense last season. It really reminds me of United 2 or 3 seasons ago, where there was like
where they almost
pre-Bruno. We only had Pogba, Rashford, and Martial were playing much too far forward for what they were comfortable for. We're going to need that with Martial because of Cavani's knock, apparently.
And I think that's what Chelsea. I think they almost have too much pressure where they're going to need to perform in Europe. So they're going to have to go through their squad depth. Where yes, I think in attacking they do have the squad depth. They have the Pulisic, they have the Timo Werner, they have the Lukaku, they have the Havertz, they have Conte to hold down the midfield. But they're in the back end. They only really have Silva, Christensen, Rudiger, and then they're both of our fullbacks are older fullbacks. They're not young fullbacks anymore. Their goalkeeper situation is pretty good. They do have the most expensive goalie in the world, but he doesn't start over Mendy. He did play good today in the penalty shootout. Kepa, shouts to him. But I do think their depth is what's going to get them and what's going to put them third. Where I think United, we at least, and why I have United second is I think we have the depth where the midfield, we can bring in Donny van der Beek. We can put Pogba out left while Rashford's out for surgery early on. We have
Donny's a
Cavani,
rebound
Greenwood,
candidate
Martial.
for me, by the way.
Exactly. I think he's going to be the rebound player of the year. Him or Van der Beek, I think, is my rebound player of the year just from injury or just comebacks and stuff like that.
I know it's hard to conceptualize, too, because there's been some picks for them to win the league, and they just won the Champions League. But I also think, and this isn't my pick for later, but if Mo Salah wins the Golden Boot, I have Liverpool in 3 instead of Chelsea. And I would even then, if I am firm on City winning it, that's where I am nervous as a United fan of him dragging Liverpool back to that near top spot and they finish second. Like, if we also have some of the draws and letdowns that we had last year.
Or if we're deep in some kind of tournament or something like that, we're trying to go for a cup and we're like, hey, we can't reach City, screw it. And it just kind of ends up where we, like Chelsea did last year, how Chelsea fell off in the Prem because they were so worried about Europe. And that's why it went through kind of good. So who do you got? I was going to say, who do you got finishing 5th?
I want to say my 5th and my surprise 6th.
Okay, so who do you got? Who do you have 5th? And then you say your 5th and your surprise 6th, and I'll say my 5th and 6th after you go.
Leicester's my 5th. Surprise 6th is Aston Villa.
Oh!
I think they spent the money wisely.
I like it, dude. I
think they've made some shrewd moves. I am going to love betting on 3 teams. I know we're not in the betting segment. Them, Brighton, who I kind of said earlier, and West Ham. I'm going to love it anytime they're not playing top 6. No, if Spurs keep Kane, I might go the Spurs 6, Aston Villa 7. But
okay.
I have Arsenal pretty firmly 8th. I don't think Everton or Leeds are going to get above them. I hate Rafa Benitez, so Everton I actually might say even barely top 10. But I have Arsenal 8th, Leicester, Aston Villa, Spurs, somewhere 5, 6, 7. But I think Leicester gets it done at 5.
And I'm okay. So my list is in as of currently right now with Harry Kane on Spurs. I have Leicester 5th, Spurs 6th, Villa, Aston Villa. I said Villa, like the Spanish team. Aston Villa 7th, Arsenal 8th. I just don't think Arsenal's made enough moves. Yeah. I just don't think Arsenal's made enough moves. I'm not an Arteta out, Arteta in. I think Arteta's, hey, what better can you do? There's really not that many coaches out there that you can go get. And I think Spurs with this transition with Nuno Espirito Santos, Kane kind of being in and out. Is this going to be the return, the rebirth of Dele Alli? Is he going to come back post Jose and be the kid he was? Is Eric Dyer going to be the player he could be once again? Like, we'll see if this Christian Romero comes in, does good for their defense.
Yeah.
No more out. Like,
Did you go down to 9-10?
I didn't, but I'd probably be Everton. I'll probably say Everton Leeds is mine, but again, it just depends on the outs at Everton because we got to see if James is going to leave.
Yeah, because of disappointment in Rafa.
Exactly, and see what we can go from there.
I'm going to say Everton at 10 because of all that going on. There's probably going to be some drama, but I think they have enough talent.
And I honestly say, actually, I'll say Everton, West Ham, Leeds is going to be my 9, 10, 11.
So pending me looking into Leeds transfers, I know some folks have enjoyed what they've done.
Hold on,
I didn't
I got
dive
you.
deep, but
I got you.
for that reason, I'm going to go West Ham 9. So Everton 10, Leeds 11. Then I'm going to even go down to 12 just because I've been talking about them. I got Brighton at Hove.
No, I'm going to go 11. I'm going to say, or who I got? 12. 12, I'm going to go probably Wolves.
Ooh, I just don't think they did anything besides maybe
they lost Rio Patricio, but they did keep a couple. They still got Traore. I like. They get a couple young players. Leeds got Jack Harrison, their player they've had on loan from City. They got him on a permanent deal on an undisclosed amount. And then they got Junior Firpo, a young kid, young fullback from Barcelona this year as well.
I did see that move. That was recent, like last week or the week before.
Yeah, 24-year-old, $13 million.
Okay.
So
I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But those are kind of like, it's weird. Like I have my top 4. We're definitely on 5, 6, 7 interchangeable Spurs, Aston Villa.
Yeah.
We both have Arsenal just at 8. And then it's like 9 through 12 are semi-interchangeable depending on drama. So that's kind of cool. Like
100%. And I think so that almost segues too. And I think we have the both same dark horse because we did talk pre-show about, hey, make sure we have a dark horse. I think it's the same thing that we both agree that they spent that $100 million well. They went and got Danny Ings. Yeah. They went and got Emi Buendia.
I don't like Danny Ings myself, but
no, me neither. But he scores goals. And that's what it's about. So that's why I think Aston Villa are both of our dark horses. Do you agree with that? Yeah, I think they're a dark horse to maybe make those Europa League spots. They got Axel Tuanzebe from United on loan, so that's another center back depth they got. And they're just a solid team. Like they play really well. And they're going to be tested. Who they got this first week coming up? They got Watford. So that's going to be that should be. Let's see, that should be an easy win for them. But speaking of that, I was going to say, go ahead, JB.
I want to touch real quick on Golden Boot and Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah. Before we segue, I was about to segue straight to our bet for the week.
But this segues in perfectly because in certain states you can bet on this. I can't remember what we have here in Virginia. I don't think we can have Player of the Year because that's subjective, but we can bet Golden Boot. All right, Player of the Year, knocking it out. Bruno came from Sporting like Cristiano. Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. That is a Manchester United player, Jeff, running our midfield. Baller, really extraordinary.
Portuguese Magnifico. I am 100% in agreement. I think City's going to be almost that curse of like the Ken Dorsey, Willis McGahee for the Heisman. There's going to be too many options to pick for the Player of the Year. Where I don't think De Bruyne steps up. I don't think Grealish. I don't think Gundogan steps up.
He'd be my pick for them though if he's healthy.
100%.
Because he'd facilitate the whole fucking thing.
And I just think with Bruno's goal creations and big chance creation, with his pins, with his assists, with his goals, all of that, I think he this year he brings it home. And because of the depth we have going in this year, I think he's not going to be as much burdened as much with having the pressure to create as much this year. So I think he's going to be more well-rested and not be that tired, kind of knackered Bruno that we saw at the end of the year.
I will say, save this for next episode, but let's look at like some long shots mostly on United team. Like whenever we get to a United, like just a fun analysis week, like Luke Shaw, the way he played in the Euros, could he be a candidate down the line if he's so far forward and getting all the way back to if Slabhead gets 10 flipping headers this year, is he going to be in it and leads United to a title? Things like that would be fun to talk about. Top scorer, I looked at this several ways. If he stays, it's Harry Kane. If he stays, it's Kane. Even if he's pissed off, he's going to be pissed off. If he goes very by an edge because he's going to be the only one, Lukaku. If Kane goes to City, I've got Lukaku for the Golden Boot over Mo Salah.
Oh, see, I have Lukaku either way, and I think Harry Kane either way is going in second behind Lukaku. I just think the way the team's set up with him being that kind of that target man with the speed on the wings, with Pulisic, with Werner, with Havertz, with Thiago, all those Thiago's on Liverpool, sorry team. But with all those, they're going to just be able to facilitate for Romelu Lukaku to get goals. He's used to the Prem. He knows the speed. He knows the strength. So and I think Harry Kane might be having just too much going on off the pitch and in transfers where it's, Harry Kane's going to score, but I don't think that Tottenham team with the new coach, the new system he's going to want to run, all that, I just don't think it's going to be as strong of a season for Harry Kane. I by all means think Harry Kane is going to score buckets of goals. I just don't think it's going to be as strong. And if he goes to City for that same reason, I think he's just a decently sized fish in a pretty big pond, not the biggest fish in a small pond.
So in a quick 10 seconds, if Kane goes to City, why you don't think Salah scores more goals than him?
No, because I think they're as distributed too, and I don't think Liverpool has they have the high-powered wings, but I don't think they're scoring enough. I think Liverpool is more built on their defense. As much people really talk about their front three, I think they're really built on that defense, and they stop people. Then they get a lot of 1-0, 2-1 wins, where Salah, gets goals, but I think it's going to be more spread out, where it's going to be some of those midfielders like Thiago getting a couple here and there, like Trent Alexander coming from the wing back position, something like that.
I think Salah only finished 1 or 2 behind Kane himself last
year. No, yeah, he
so.
definitely does get goals, so we'll see.
So, well, yeah, those are. I'm probably betting on Rom with some sprinkle on Salah, and then if it starts slow and I get good odds and he's hanging in Tottenham, I'll probably dab on Harry Kane at some point.
No, I feel that 100%.
I'll put like $1 on Harry Maguire scoring 20 yards.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull that up. See what we can get. If we can get odds in Virginia, and of course, if you have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yes.
Be responsible. The best bet is the one you can afford. Don't be stupid with your bets. Like, we aren't stupid. We bet what we can handle. We are not trying to get anybody to be degenerates or anything like that. Don't lose no money on all that.
Of course, it's not numerical order.
Yeah.
Kane is not alphabetical either.
Yeah, of course, it's all.
Most of us 360. Kane is plus 270. Whereas, I don't think pen's to paper, so we're not seeing Lukaku yet.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. So yeah.
Sterling's plus 1,800. Ollie Watkins, 3,600. That's not a bad look. Aston Villa, we've been talking about them a lot. Ollie Watkins will have to score a ton. Yeah. Sadio Mane, 2,300. Gabriel Jesus, 1,800.
Firmino and Mason Greenwood having the same odds just seems awkward to me.
Well, Firmino just gets a lot of assists. Bamford at 2,600 ain't that bad of a little sprinkle. Okay?
Yeah, it just takes a little flip of the plane there. But yeah. So that's definitely, we can dive into that and have updates, weekly or monthly. Like first pod of the month, we'll touch on top score. So, but since we dabbled a little bit, we talked into the betting world. Season starts Friday.
Let's get it. I know. It's fucking time. It is time. We are here. We're trying to get
I
I
don't
was gonna
think you
say.
look. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say. By all means, feel free to tail our bets. We are. We feel like we do a good amount of research for our show, so we do know a little bit. But as always, bet at your own risk. We're not by all means saying we're sharps, but we try to give you what we think is our best bets, and whatever we're going to give you, we are going to let you know if we are putting our money behind or if it's something. Hey, something to look at. I might not be doing it, but something to look at. So we are going to give you our best bets of the week.
Should we just run down the list kind of semi quickly? And if there's any crazy pick with reason why, please mention it. Jeff, if you look at the schedule at all, obviously, even from a non-betting angle, just say who you'd pick and we can share some odds there. Right off the deck, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time is Arsenal versus Brentford.
And this is going to be on NBCSN
Yep.
for all your people at home, and Peacock as well, like you said. This is actually one of my bets of the week. I actually do have Arsenal here at -120.
Stupid.
I think, I think Brentford, even though they do have the hype with Ivan Toney coming up from promotion, I just think at -120, that's a good odds to get Arsenal, even though they are probably the lower end of the top six. They are definitely a top six team, and I think they should come out and show Brentford what the Premier League is all about. So that's how I'm starting off my bets of the week. First
Same.
bet is Arsenal -120 Friday at 3 p.m. on NBCSN.
Yeah. And even though I
Peacock.
believe it's at Brentford, and in almost every other sport, I love home underdogs. It's just a little different in a scenario like this where they know the whole country is going to be watching them.
It is at Brentford, JB. Good call.
Yep. So, and then brings us to Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern New York City time. As I know, folks look at it across the world at city lengths, is a good old rivalry game. Might have been better 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
The Battle of the Roses.
But Man United versus Leeds. I'm laying the -185. I don't even know the spread odds at the moment, but I'm going to down there.
What I was going to say is this is part of my 4-team Premier League parlay. I do have the 185 as well, JB, but then I'm also taking just in a separate same game parlay. I'm going to do United money line, which is at -185, and I'm going over 3.5 total goals for the game. I think it'll end 3-1, to be honest, if I'm going straight predictions. And then that puts it at +248 for that parlay, which I like. You're getting plus odds. That's an easy way, I feel like, to get some plus money in there. I think Leeds are going to give up a good amount of goals. The way Bielsa plays, he does push forward a lot. So I think United have a chance to, especially with our counterattack. Sancho should play this night. If not, it'll be Martial, Greenwood, maybe Cavani.
Yeah.
And I think United
depends on Cavani's knock.
Yeah, and we'll see. And he has been spending a lot of time in South America. But I think we have the firepower with Bruno, with Pogba. If Donny comes in, maybe one of McFred gets in there, gets that. Let's see. The spread on this game is the -1. Let's see. For all you people that don't want to take the over. All right. Well, they don't even have it posted yet. So we will see soon.
Yeah.
But like I said, we are both taking the money line at -185, even though those odds aren't that great. If you would like to pair it with the over 3.5 goals, I think that is a good bet. And that's going to be a +248, and that's Saturday, 7:30 a.m. NBCSN. I don't know if this one's on Peacock. All it's showing for us is NBCSN. But most of the other games will be on Peacock. So we will let you know about all those.
10 a.m. Again, road team, but all good with it. Aston Villa against Watford. Come out.
100%.
Why is it plus money? You risk $100 to win 125. Like
easy money. I'm
easy.
with that too. I'm on it. Aston Villa +125. Yes, they lost Grealish, but we talked about it earlier. They replaced it. Leon Bailey. Emi Buendia is questionable, so he might not play. But I feel like Ollie Watkins up top. They still have a solid defense. Matty Cash still in the back. And they should be good to go with that +125. Watford, newly promoted, didn't make really any good moves in the offseason. So unless somebody comes in soon, which I don't think will be ready. Exactly.
too much home. I feel like they're putting money into fans being back.
Exactly. Home
like
and away.
These home teams, they're putting a couple of shekels their way. Maybe it's because it's more betting is legal in more states in the U.S., so they think there's gonna be a lot of home money taken or something. I don't know, but
Exactly. And this
I'm
is
gonna get these bets in tomorrow before they change before Saturday.
I was gonna say I already have them.
I have half of them in.
So I was gonna say too, this is a good time. Let's remind everybody, if you are betting on soccer, the money line is a 3-way line. So the team has to win after 90 minutes for you to get the money line win. If it is a draw, you lose your bet.
Yep.
If it is the other team wins, obviously you lose your bet. Yep. So when we are saying money lines, we are thinking these teams are going to win within 90. Obviously in the league, there is no extra time, there is no penalties. So we are thinking these teams are winning in 90s, and these are the odds we're giving you. We just don't want you to get into a situation where if you do bet the FA Cup, the EFL, some kind of Champions League qualifier or something, where it does go past 90 minutes, know that that first bet is a 3-way bet. It's at a team, draw, team. So you can lose that bet even if your team wins after extra time. But in the league, obviously, there's not any extra time. And that brings us to our third game, which is another one. I did not mean for the first 4 games of the slate to be my 4 bets of the week, but it is. It's going to be Leicester at -150 against Wolves. They are a home team at the King Power Stadium. I think Leicester showed what they can do. They have a good structure. They have a good spine. Castor Schmeichel, Ndidi, Vardy up top. I just think they're too good of a team to not take in this situation.
Next game. This is easy. I can't believe it's at +150 for me. I've talked about how much I like them. Brighton and Hove over Burnley. I think Burnley was a little hyped last season. Don't get me wrong, they had some great matches, but I'm going to go Brighton over Burnley at +150.
I like it. Burnley is one of those tough teams where it is a hard out. I don't have anything on that game. Those first 4 were my bets. I would, like you said, though, I do like Brighton. Brighton just scares me because they are one of those teams where their XG does show that they should score a lot more points than they really do. So they just kind of get kind of trap it in front of goal. So
yeah, this is one of those. If I can get though an analytic Sterling at 150%, even if it's for a half of a unit.
Exactly. Also going on at 10 o'clock, we have Chelsea hosting Crystal Palace, a Battle of London going on here. Honestly, the odds on this aren't great. It's -380 for the Chelsea money line. I feel like all of us agree Chelsea should demolish Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, we didn't really go over who we think is going to relegate. I think Crystal Palace is going to be in that relegation battle. I think Patrick Vieira is going to be one of the first people to be in that sack race, to get one of the first managers sacked. I just I feel like I love Patrick Vieira, even though he was against my team at Arsenal when he was going against Roy Keane back in the day. But I just don't think he has a managerial guff kind of to keep it up. Exactly. And I think Crystal Palace might be one of the teams fighting in that relegation battle, along with with some of the others where I think some of the newly promoted teams will be in there as well.
Yeah, staying away.
So I think we can cross over that one. Chelsea fans, you shouldn't lose this one. Congrats. That one will be on Peacock, I believe.
Yeah, that's exclusive.
Yeah, that's a Peacock. 10 a.m. Same time though as the other games. There are a lot of 10 o'clock
Leicester's
games.
the NBC Sports game, if I recall correctly. For the
no, it's Everton Southampton. Our next game we were talking about actually is NBCSN. Yeah, Leicester is on USA Network, which we forgot to talk about. Leicester Wolves will be on USA. It might be available on Peacock, but what I've been looking at, it's only on USA. So go through your cable app or through your TV if you do have it. USA Network, 10 a.m. is Leicester versus Wolves.
We'll tweet something out. I found a chart that the English Premier League Twitter, American Prem, whatever.
Cool. Yeah, we will tweet out. So make sure you go follow at We Say Soccer. That is our Twitter handle. And we will tweet out the entire schedule where you can find it on your TV. And as Jeff alluded to earlier, most La Liga and Bundesliga games are going to be on ESPN Plus. So if you have ESPN Plus as well as Peacock and then your cable service, you'll be able to watch almost every game we're going to talk about this season.
Yeah. What do you like in Everton? Are you rolling with them? Just
I'm staying away for right now because I want to see what this Rafa team's going to look like. Because that I can't lie, a little biased. That 4-0 beating we gave them, where Pickford looked horrendous.
yeah.
I kind of want to see. I don't think Southampton's that strong. I think losing the Ings is going to hurt them a lot. But like I said, I'm just not ready. Let me give week 1. I kind of want to give Everton because of how roller coaster they were last year, where they could be up 2-0 and then lose 3-2. I kind of want to just give them a week just kind of so I can get a look-see because by all means, like I said, net friendly. I got absolutely nothing but scared of betting on Everton this year. We're seeing them lose 4-0 to United.
Same home team, same thing as Brighton for me, even though that was 150%.
Yeah.
Barely laying juice at -110. I'm taking them. So
Cool. I like it.
I believe that leads us into Sunday.
It does. Early morning. Wake up a little Sunday brunch. You can get your Newcastle West Ham with your eggs and ham. On this one, if I was taking this one, I'm staying away. I feel like you're not going to stay away on this one, but I have I would lean West Ham. Again, Same with Everton. I want to see how they are without Jay Lings. See if David Moyes. They haven't really made any moves. I feel kind of bad for David Moyes. Haven't really backed in the summer after a really good season last year. Got him in the Europa League spots, and that's what I'm a little afraid of. Where I want to give him a couple weeks with that Europa League kind of almost poison chalice almost. Where yes, it's a really good competition to be in, but that's midweek games that you're going to have to deal with your depth, and I don't see him even having barely the depth for the Premier League, let alone for a Europa League campaign too. So I'm gonna stay away this week, but I feel like you're feeling West Ham on this one.
If this game was December, I probably wouldn't, just because who effing knows?
Exactly
With that team, but West Ham, it's Newcastle. I don't love them.
And Newcastle lost their captain in Lejeune this year too. He went to somewhere in France, I believe so.
There's a ton of factors. I mean, and like they sold DeAndre Yedlin, so that's at minimum, not even the American standpoint, but that's less athleticism there. I'm just.
He went to Alaves. That's where Lejeune went.
And Yedlin went to Galatasaray, so easy pick for me. West Ham, especially at +20. Again, road. I might be cheeky and throw in like these road favorites, but are still plus money. Do a draw, no bet parlay on just road favorites.
Yeah.
And then it leads us. I'll let you take the reins on Tottenham City.
I'm definitely leaning City. Again, I think Tottenham, with the whole Harry Kane drama just showing up in the last week, I think they're still in a little transitional phase with Nuno coming in, Jose going out, Scott Parker more recently going out. And I think they're just in a transitional phase where they don't really know their identity yet. And I think City, even though they added Grealish, they'll probably come off the bench in this one just because he was just announced and just in training end of last week. So I think on this one, I do think I'm leaning City. I'm staying away betting wise. Even though 165 is not bad to get the defending champions that were cleared 12 points last year against a team that finished, 6th, 7th? 7th because they're in the ECL. So I do think that it is good odds if you are feeling it. I'm staying away this week just because anything could happen this week 1. I feel like especially Harry Kane could come out and just say F you to everybody and score a hat trick. Or you could just see City just blow through, be the machine they are, and just kind of run through Spurs. What are you thinking, Jibbs?
Let's get crazy. I'm throwing a nickel half a unit on draw plus 300. I might even throw like $1 at some crazy odds on a 0-0 draw. This is purely for the fun of it.
0-0 would be plus 1,200, folks.
Yeah, so that'll end
plus
like
1,200.
So
if
you
bet $5, you win 60.
Yeah, like this is for fun. I think there's too much smoke and mayhem and craziness around both of those clubs. So I'm going to say it ends in a draw. I think it'll be 1-1, 2-2, but might throw a shekel on whatever the best odds are out of those.
While we were talking about random correct score odds, I also like United 3-1, as we talked about earlier, at plus 1,000.
Yeah.
Might be throwing a little nickel, half a unit on that one too.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like that too.
$5 to win 50 is not bad.
Yeah. Jeff, any thoughts on the upcoming weekend, or are you just excited to dive in like Michael Phelps?
No picks for me week one. I'm going to take it all in. Pause. I'm take it all in and then see how it goes. And I'm coming at you next week with my own take on this.
Yeah,
so
let's go.
I'll leave right for the week one. I'll leave the betting to the experts. Well, I feel the experts are.
Find your athletes. Start getting that romance started. Courtship with a couple of these clubs for that fanhood and
this entire weekend is just for me to see the league and take it all in and see how
it's really this league. Serie A is a couple weeks away. Bundesliga is another 10 days away. La Liga
is this weekend. Speaking of La Liga, good segue. I do have a couple picks in La Liga I wanted to watch, tell people to look out for. If you don't mind me interrupting real quick. I have Atletico Madrid are getting at minus 115 on Sunday against Celta Vigo. I like that. That's the returning champions.
I like that over as well.
The over, you like that? What's the over?
Or both teams. You see that one? Just that matchup alone. Celta Vigo.
Also, something to look at. Let's see. The over is at, if you take over 2.5, we're at plus 118. Over 1.5 is minus 280. So JB's like in the over 2.5, which means there's 3 goals to be scored.
Both teams to score.
And he likes both teams to score.
2-1 minimum.
And then in another bet that I'm not taking, I am taking that Atletico Madrid bet. But worth looking at is maybe one of those hungry dogs run faster. You have Barca minus 140 against Sociedad. It's not bad to look at either.
Bad, though. They're not a bad squad.
And that's Sunday at 2 p.m. So maybe that's one of those, if you hit a couple bets Saturday, hit one Sunday morning, maybe throw a little shekels like we were talking about on Barcelona at minus 140. And then in League One, I got a Friday bet for you boys and ladies, everybody out there. We got Monaco at minus 140 at Laurent. That's Friday at 3 p.m. And then Lille, I think Lille will bounce back. They did get they lost last week. Marseille won for us last week, but Lille didn't get the dub for us. But I think Lille will bounce back at minus 120 against Nice. And that's Saturday at 11 a.m. So that's something maybe to check out halftime of all these 10 o'clock games. And again, we will have the big games this week. We'll have our whole Premier League schedule and where you can see it. We will tweet that out before this weekend, as well as the big games and our picks of the week. You will see too, so you can see what me and Jibbs are picking. Jeff's taking this week off. He's going to take everything in, and then he will have some picks coming up this week. And you can pick who you want to tail. Also, we will be having a fantasy league. We're in a fantasy league, just the 3 of us, where you can follow where we're going to do DFS picks for the weekend. And you can follow our teams if you would like. Go against us, comment, reply, let us know where we picked wrong. You can see me and JB's expert picks and Jeff's novice picks, picking through a salary and all of that as well. Jeff, how you feeling? What do you think of episode 0?
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, but that's to be expected. Any major sport like this is going to have a lot of logistics and moving pieces. But I am optimistic and excited to learn as much as I can. I am the sports guy, so I and I do fantasy in other sports. So let's get it. Let's go.
Let's go.
I say soccer too.
Exactly. Jibbs, how you feeling after episode 0? This is again our pilot episode.
Feeling good.
How you feeling?
And it's funny, it's almost like it's a message from Gad, but literally what just came on Manchester United TV was that brilliant 2-0 win over City last year.
Let's go. Scott
With-
McTominay.
Yeah,
Super
with
chip.
that PK, like, what was it, a minute and a half in that Tony drew, Bruno converted. Like, it's pretty funny that just literally in the background, my camera's right here, they're right there.
Exactly. It's a sign.
More to come. I might switch. United's winning the league.
But
Yeah,
stay
that's it for me, gents.
Yeah, stay tuned. We will definitely try to release 2 episodes a week. We'll have a episode releasing Monday and Friday if we can. Stay on that schedule. We appreciate all you footy fans coming in and joining us for our first episode. And we'll see you soon. Stay classy, footy fans.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Holla.
We say soccer.